are in store for this cloudy Wednesday. Overnight tonight, those temperatures will drop into the 60s. Thursday will be a storm alert weather day. There is a slight and marginal risk for severe weather heading into the afternoon. Biggest risks being gusty, damaging winds and hail. So download the Local 3 weather app for the latest weather updates. With the Local 3 Storm Alert Weather Team, I'm weather forecaster Hannah Sky.
Your current Milligan Vein temperature is 65 degrees.
Listen to the Alon Exchange, hosted by financial professionals Jay and Brittany Hagee, owners of Alon Planning Partners. Each week they discuss all things financial and answer your questions about investing, preparing for retirement, paying down debt, and more. The Alon Exchange, Saturdays at 7 a.m. on ESPN Cleveland 1013. Don't miss the Paul Feinbaum Show, weekday afternoons from 2 until 5 on ESPN Cleveland 1013. Always topical, always entertaining. Paul Feinbaum on ESPN Cleveland 1013, presented by Hardees.
This is Thomas Williams with Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland. Stop by today and take advantage of Bradley County's largest pre-owned inventory, or visit cleveland-nissan.com, home of the lifetime warranty.
ESPN Cleveland 1013 is powered by Duracell. You're listening to Paul Feinbaum on ESPN Cleveland 1013. The Drive is coming up. The ESPN Cleveland 1013 lineup is supplied by Wholesale Supply Group. WholesaleSupply.us.
For care you can feel confident about, trust Erlanger Medical Group. More than 500 exceptional providers backed by the region's healthcare leader, Erlanger. Call 423-778-DOCS. That's 778-DOCS.
Independent Insulation Services is running an exclusive special this week only. When you spend $1,500, you'll get a free air check. A $300 value determine the air quality of your home or business. Absolutely free. Claim this special. Call 716-8080. 716-8080. Independent Insulation Services. Spend $1,500 and get that free air check. A $300 value. 716-8080.
Hey, Andy Morris here. Join me along with my co-host on The Drive, presented by Hardees, weekdays at 5 p.m. on ESPN Cleveland 1013. Cleveland and Bradley County's local sports show, weekdays at 5 on ESPN Cleveland 1013.
From the Kia of Cleveland Studios, this is ESPN Cleveland 1013, WCLE HD2 Cleveland, W267BI Cleveland, ESPN Cleveland 1013.
The top of the hour is presented by Best Buy Metals, making the top of your house the best it can be. Visit bestbuymetalroofing.com.
It's time for The Drive on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, presented by Hardees. We will bring you nonstop sports news from the national and local scene and everything in between. So buckle up and join in on the conversation. It's The Drive.
Don't take no style. Got a thirst for killing. Live your body.
Welcome back to The Drive. It's Wednesday, May 7th, back here in the studio. Jacob's over here messing with my headphones. Those are mine, Jacob. Come on, man. Come on, man. Get out of here.
Mixed up. You're too loud.
And listen, Jacob is right here beside me and sends me a text message as we're going on air. Once again, Andy Morris along with Jacob Mason for today's episode of The Drive. Are we streaming? Did we start the stream? Right there with you guys. Thanks to listen, E's not here. He's been busy playing baseball, but we went one step better. We got his brother Elijah in here, so Elijah's taking care of us, making sure we've got everything streaming on the Facebook. Yes, I said the Facebook, and on mixtv.tv on YouTube. So excited to have that new feature here on ESPN Cleveland 1013's The Drive. But again, we're back here in studio. Yesterday, had a fun day out at Bill Talley Stadium at Cleveland High School for the district championship baseball game.
Yeah, it was a good time, man. It was a beautiful day to be outside, and got to do the drive first and cover a few things, and then me and you took the drive hat off and put the announcer hat on and got to call that game, and man, what a game it was, especially by one young man, dude. Tyler Gardner was an absolute dog out there yesterday.
Yes, he sure was. The starting pitcher for the Blue Raiders had an excellent day. Of course, we're going to talk a lot more about that and high school baseball later on. There's a lot going on in the national news, and something that I didn't realize until Jacob just brought this up probably a minute before we went on air was an announcement that Brew McCoy made. It sounds like he is medically retiring from the game of football. So I know a lot of Tennessee Vol fans are disappointed to hear that, and unfortunately for Brew McCoy, that's going to be the end of his career.
Yeah, he was definitely a fan favorite. You know, you could hear the Brew chants coming from from Neyland Stadium and that massive crowd, and so I know a lot of fans have wished him the best online. He's not the only one though. Cam Rising, the Utah quarterback who feels like he was there for forever,
and I think he was there for like 8 years.
Yeah, he is also medically retiring as well. So
he's at that age. He's at retirement age. He's finishing college.
Well, I mean, nowadays with us paying kids in college, they basically can retire if you play long enough. You know, you collect enough NIL checks, you can just go off and go buy your own car lot.
Well, think about it, and that's a good point. Your own car lot, your own car wash, you know, your own group of laundry mats. A lot of those guys do that kind of stuff where, you know, they might be college standouts that don't, for medical reasons or just not being good enough to play in the NFL. You'll see a lot of guys make a living off of their college career, which is a perk of playing at that level. But it's you end up, you know, not being able to play, and then you say, well, listen, I'm going to get involved in some media and get into radio or do some pregame shows, and it gives these guys an outlet to not only stay connected with their team. So I would imagine Brew McCoy is not going to go too far from Knoxville.
Yeah, he's not going to want for much. You know, he's going to be well connected. He's going to get to do a lot of things up there for sure. He was really well liked. You know, we talked about the NIL era. I really do think this is the time for college athletes to capitalize on it. I do see legislation coming down the track at some
Setting
point.
The salary cap.
I think there will be some kind of salary cap, which, you know, I think in the final years of the Wild Wild West, which is the NIL right now, you might see some holdouts for like a big final payment of like, you know, hey, NIL is going away next year. I'm not playing for you unless you give me $6 million. Like I could see that coming down the road. But you know, these guys right now capitalize on there not really being any kind of rules. You know, we're in a different time in college football than we've ever been in, and I do see, you know, like Nick Saban tried to pitch to Trump, like there needs to be some kind of legislation that says, you know, X, Y, and Z. And I do think if you don't have that, you're going to see the death of the ACC. I think you're going to see the death of the Big 12. You know, you've already seen the Pac-12 kind of fizzle.
They're coming back. They're coming back, baby.
Fizzle into 2 and then build their way back up, you know. But I think the gap between the SEC and the Big 10 has shrunk, but I think the gap between those two has gotten very, very big.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with that. So some other things going on around the game of football is numbers. We see these guys being drafted. 2 notable ones: Shedeur Sanders, now of the Cleveland Browns, 5th-round draft pick by the Cleveland Browns, is set to wear number 12, and he claims that is because his mentor Tom Brady, which I do want to point out, it's also number 21 flipped reverse like his dad. So I do think that's pretty cool. I know there's some conversation about Abdul Carter as well, and he's trying to go after Hall of Famers numbers up there in New York, it seems like.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he went after LT's 56.
Yeah,
right?
And Phil Simms 11.
And, you know, there's been a lot of drama around him, actually. And it's something that I wanted to kind of talk to you about because it sparked a question in my mind. You know, first off, like, go make your own path. Let's stick with the numbers first, and then I'll get to my hypothetical. Go make your own path. Like, those, they earned the fact that their jerseys are retired, their career. Like, cool, dude, you were a high draft pick. You were a heck of a college athlete. Like, that's awesome. You know, there's tons and tons of guys. I can think of the Raiders drafting like 4 guys in the top 10 that went on to be nothing. And so until you go out and make that number something for that organization, you don't need to be asking anybody if you can wear it. And it's crazy to me because we've talked about Shedeur Sanders and all the drama of the fall. We've talked about Abdul Carter and the third pick. You know, the big hype on draft day itself was the trade up for Travis Hunter. We haven't heard a word about Cam Ward. And the dude was stellar.
Can I be honest? We've not heard a lot about Travis Hunter either. The guy shows up to work.
Yeah, the thing that we heard about him was just because pick number 1 was in. We all knew who it was going to be. It was going to be Cam Ward, and then the trade happened that nobody really saw coming until like a few hours before.
Which is just a credit to how good of a player he is.
Right, but Cam Ward there's been silence around him, but then Abdul Carter, you've got this number drama, and then this is more of like a funny like fans drama. He's a Philly born and raised. Philly guy. You look at all of his interviews. He's like
goes to Penn State, stays in state.
I'm looking forward to being my last year as a Phillies fan. Like he said that, like getting to watch them win a Super Bowl. Like, you know, he's acknowledging that he's about to get drafted somewhere else. So then he gets drafted to the Giants. Obviously, there's not a great love relationship between the Phillies and the Giants, right? You know, so they're
the Eagles and the Giants.
Yeah, sorry,
yeah.
Eagles and the Giants. They're arguing there, but you see him courtside at a Knicks game. So the Philadelphia fan base starts to get mad, and then he tweets out and says, "Man, I love the atmosphere at the Knicks game. Like I may just dive in on this whole New York scene." And so Phillies fans are up in arms because you got a Philly kid and all that. My question to you. Let's say Maddox, you know, goes and picks up a bat.
Yeah, my son, yeah.
And plays baseball his senior year. Hits 80 home runs and gets drafted in the first round of the MLB next year. But he gets drafted to a team like the Phillies for you. Do you put on a Phillies jersey? Are you supporting him? Or are you going to become a Phillies fan?
Listen.
On top of it.
So in that scenario, as a parent, as a father, you have not only a duty but an obligation to support your child in their success and in their failures. Your job is to be the parent and show up and be there for them. With Maddox potentially playing for the Philadelphia Phillies, there is no way. And you know what? That I'm putting on that red. No, I'm just kidding. No,
I mean, honestly,
I want to get you fired up. No, but honestly, yes, absolutely. And now this is. So you got to assume he's going to spend a couple of years in the minor leagues, and if it's maybe 3-4 years.
Let's say he plays football and he commits to USC.
Listen, as soon as he busts out of AAA and puts on that big league jersey, you can bet I'm going to have the same jersey on. I'm gonna have his name on the back. I'm gonna have that Morse across the top.
He goes to USC. You're putting on a USC
Absolutely.
jersey?
I'm gonna support my kid.
I would love to see it.
I'm gonna support my kid.
I agree.
There's no doubt.
I mean, I agree. It's just I try to think of myself putting on a Florida jersey.
I can tell you what else I would do as a father. If he gets drafted by the New York Giants and wants to wear number 11, I'm gonna tell him to quit being an idiot. I'm gonna say pick a number and play football.
Yeah, like. Just tell them to assign me one randomly. I don't care about the number. To me, is not that big of a deal. Guys that like try to pay for numbers and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, like just go earn your.
I hope Maddox is listening right now, and he's lifting weights as he's getting fired up, trying to make me millions. Right.
Right, but I'm trying to think of like if Graham went on to be great at something and had to go put on a Florida Gators jersey. I think I would wear like a polo.
You're crazy.
I just don't know. I don't know that I'm wearing a Florida jersey. I might take like the logo off.
Listen,
I
got a good example here locally. So you know this guy well, Tate Ratledge, offensive lineman for the Georgia Bulldogs, born and raised right here in Cleveland, Tennessee.
Yeah, he ripped it out.
His dad was the former head football coach at Bradley High School. A great guy. Had an NFL career of his own. Dean Ratledge. But as soon as Tate, it got down and he was making that decision, and I know you're well aware of this. You followed it very closely. But Tennessee was in the mix, and Georgia was in the mix, and Kirby Smart won him over. And as soon as he decided he was going to Georgia, very first thing he did, they made sure there were TV cameras there to get it. His dad went out to his truck, to his F-150, and pulled that Tennessee T off the back of it because priorities have changed.
Yeah, and I met him in Indianapolis.
Awesome guy. Awesome guy.
He was a great guy, and I actually got to talk to him about you for a little bit. And but yeah, that's funny enough that is a great example. I agree. The love for my son is going to win out in that. But man, I would dread.
Sometimes that love can overfloweth, and Deion Sanders is an example of that. Yeah. Is he not?
Yeah.
But listen, I enjoy what he's done for Colorado football, and it's been a lot of fun to watch that turnaround. And I love the dynamic of as a kid, I thought there was nothing cooler than seeing like two brothers on the field together, or a son and a father, Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr. on the field together. I thought that is just insane. That is so cool. I love the family dynamic in sport, and that's something that, you know, I feel like when, even if you're not a part of it directly, like you know, Ken Griffey Jr. or Cal Ripken and his brother and his dad managing the team up there in Baltimore, I feel like when someone in your family is donning whatever jersey or hat, or so be it, whenever they're doing that, you got to support your family. You got to be there and rock the colors and. Listen, maybe subtly you can do it. So,
since you said we talked about love overfloweth, you know, with Deion, do you think Deion had a part to play in the draft stock slide?
Absolutely.
This is my personal opinion. I think NFL GMs looked and they truly graded him on what they thought. I think the media, we ran with it. I think I'm a victim of that. As a Raiders fan, we needed a quarterback, and I was grabbing at straws at someone to be so. I think they graded him probably in rounds 3 and 4.
Yeah.
I think he slid to 5 because of what the media did. And
I'm sure some teams were somewhat fearful of, listen, there's no one in this profession that has more of a spotlight than this young man's dad, and if things don't go his way, we're going to have to deal with a lot of drama. I think that was a big reason why you didn't see him go in round 3.
Yeah, well, I mean, as a GM, like you're now like kind of looking at your head coach and being like, hey, man, like this guy's got a 3rd-round grade, and he's there. Like it's there. But you're going to have to answer all the questions of why he slid. All the questions that come with that scenario are now a head coach's problem, and head coaches probably just looked at GMs and they're like, I don't need it.
One thing that I think was very telling in that situation is the fact that Deion has not had a lot to say about it. He's kept his mouth shut, and I think that's huge. I think that's a good quality in him as a father, not just a coach, but a father/coach. The saying that, listen, he's in the pros now. He's a man. He's a big boy. I'm out of it. I'm going to stay out of it. And I'm sure there's going to be times where he's asked some questions and he answers them. But I do think he's going to let Shedeur navigate his way as a professional quarterback. And I think now that that's seen, listen, Cleveland's rocking 5 pretty decent quarterbacks, I feel like, right now. And there's going to be some trade potential there with some of those guys. Cleveland might absolutely fall in love with Shedeur Sanders and say, this guy's our future. Or they might say, hey, we've got Gabriel here. Joe Flacco's going to mentor these guys. He's going to lead the way. And they've got Deshaun Watson, who's injured, that's going to come back eventually. They may just say, hey, we're going to use Shedeur as a trade piece.
Yeah.
And there's going to be teams now more willing that they've seen, hey, everything's pretty calm. It's pretty, he's a professional now. Yeah, we're interested in him. We'll take him because we just had our quarterback go down.
Yeah, and I think people made such a big deal about like what round he fell to. Like if you think about some of the best quarterbacks to play the game, I mean, Tom Brady was a 6th-round draft pick. Russell Wilson was a 3rd-round draft pick. Like I think about some of these guys that like nobody really thought about, but then came out there and absolutely proved everybody right. Now it's just time to go. That's the thing I love about football, and really sports in general. At the end of the day, sports in general. Like all of this talking happens. We talk about it. Everybody talks about it. And at the end of the day, they're going to go out there and we're either going to be right or we're going to be wrong. Like you can have the biggest opinion in the world about something, but until Sanders goes out there, and goes and does whatever he's going to do with his career. But at the end of the day, it's definitive on what he does with it. So, hey, go out there and prove everybody wrong, dude. I go do it. That's what I love about sports. You have that opportunity.
Yeah, so as we wrap up kind of our football conversation for the day here, and we may get back into it toward the end of the show, but this is another guy being a Bulldog that you're familiar with. The Pittsburgh Steelers traded George Pickens today to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I don't really know how to feel about it. Like,
the Steelers, I believe, got 2 draft picks out of them.
Yeah, they traded, if memory serves me correctly, they traded George Pickens and a 6th for like a 3rd and a 5th, or I think it was flip-flopped. I think it was they got a 3rd and a 6th, and they gave him for got him for a 5th and himself. But I'll be honest with you, I know George Pickens wanted to be in Pittsburgh. I know he liked playing for Mike Tomlin, but like, I don't know that I would be.
Who's his quarterback?
Yeah, I don't know that anybody that Mike Tomlin is selling, I don't know that I'm interested in. Mike Tomlin has done a great job over his career of identifying talent, keeping good talent in-house. The Steelers, as a program, in my opinion, just do a great job from the bottom up. So when they are selling somebody, to me, I almost think what's wrong, what happened, and this is from a Bulldog fan who loved George Pickens while he was there, loved the feistiness he brought. But let's bring another guy that's kind of dramatic and complains a lot to Dallas. Their fans are not like that at all.
Yes, no kidding. Hey, so the details of that trade: the Cowboys acquired George Pickens, obviously, and the Steelers' 6th round pick in 2027. So they got George Pickens and a 6th round pick. And then it looked like Pittsburgh will receive a 3rd round pick in 2026 and a 5th round pick in 2027.
Yeah, and so
I almost feel like that's like giving a guy away, though.
Yeah, I feel like that's what I'm saying. Like they basically did. They took George Pickens with the 2nd.
What's the problem?
Well, I mean, I love the guy's play. I love how physical he is. He
likes to run that mouth a little bit.
It sounds like he's a little bit of a drama queen inside the club.
Now, was it George Pickens that in the Georgia Tech game
threw hands right before the SEC championship,
right there in front of the stands? They were ripping each other's helmets off, just going at it like they're in an octagon or something.
Yeah, and then you've also got George Pickens in a ski mask on draft night, like got his belly tucked out staring at the screen. You've got him going up and getting one-handed grabs and turning around and throwing the ball at his teammate. Dude's a dog. Like, he's an absolute, he kind of reminds me of a little bit like AB. Like,
he's a former dog. Come on now.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about his style of play.
Oh, I got you.
He's not afraid of anybody.
Listen, I had to get the terminology where the elders like myself could understand what you're saying there. But no, listen, I do agree. I think George Pickens is a phenomenal player, but it sounds like there's potentially some baggage there that hopefully, this move might be them saying, hey, listen, we're going to trade you to Dallas. You got to get your stuff together. We're giving you an opportunity to do that because it just didn't work out here. And hopefully it was one of those things that clearly if that did happen, it was in-house, which I think these kind of things should be handled. Like, we shouldn't know about Abdul Carter and the number drama. So somebody, be it his agent or somebody, is leaking that stuff, because if it's coming from the Giants, they're stupid. Why would you publicly say, well, our pick is doing this and that? Because that's team drama. That's locker room drama. Keep that in-house. Deal with it. Listen, bring Justin Tucker, Michael Strahan in to talk to this kid and say, hey, pave your path, man. Let those guys handle it in-house, and we never know about it.
Yeah, when he got traded to Dallas, I personally just didn't think Dallas was a great fit because new coaching regime. We all know how Dallas fans are. They're dramatic. They're America's team. Like, Jalen Hurts has lived his entire life, won a Super Bowl, gone for Heisman stuff, and Dallas hasn't been back to like the AFC Championship since then. So like they're in a drought of struggles. But, like, if George Pickens would have got traded to someone like Dan Campbell at the Lions, I'd been like, okay, I can see leadership there. Like, I can see someone like Kirby kind of reeling him in. The dude still averages 16.4 yards per reception. He had a terrible year last year. he still has the highest amount of yards per reception in the NFL. He is a home run hitter. So the talent is there. Can Dallas reel him in? We'll see.
Hey, listen, before we go to break, we got to fill you in on something here. We're doing our ticket giveaway for the Braves and Padres. Yes, we're giving away tickets, 4 tickets, that is, to the Braves and Padres game on Saturday, May 24th. Now, this is only going to last today, so you got to get after it today. And, again, it's our ticket giveaway for Braves versus Padres on Saturday, May 24th. Giving away those 4 tickets, and all you got to do, the Volunteer Ridipest text line 423-749-1013. Text your name, please include your name so we know who you are, and type Braves tickets. Once again, Braves versus Padres on Saturday, May 24th. We've got 4 tickets. All you got to do is text the Volunteer Ridipest phone line at 423-749-1013. Text Braves and tickets. We'll be right back here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardees.
Hardee's Original Bag packs 2 full-size favorites, plus fries and a drink starting at $5.99. Pair any 2 items. Choose from a charbroiled double cheeseburger, hot ham and cheese, or hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Or choose 2 double cheeseburgers for just $1 more. A great big bag of original goodness starting at just $5.99. Only at Hardee's. Download the Hardee's app and join My Rewards for special offers. These items only. Tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
Cleveland Tire Center, locally owned and operated for over 45 years. Cleveland Tire, your one-stop auto care shop in Cleveland. North Lee Highway, where the name says it all.
Mix 1041 and Honda of Cleveland are teaming up to give one deserving teacher in our local area the chance to win a 2025 Honda Civic LX. Nominate your favorite teacher at mymix1041.com or on the Mix 1041 app.
Do you suffer from unsightly leg veins? Are your legs turning brown or swelling? Do your legs feel heavy, tired, or achy? Do you have restless legs or leg cramps disturbing your sleep? These symptoms are signs of bad veins. Dr. James Gooden at Milligan Vein offers an office treatment that can make you look and feel better, and your procedure is covered by most insurance. Find more information online at milliganvein.com or call Dr. Gooden today at 423-961-5682 and get rid of those bad veins.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Discover your new favorite sweet treat, the Mayfield Dairy Ice Cream Bar. Now available in 4 delicious flavors: chocolate chip cookie dough, chocolate fudge brownie, caramel waffle cone, and cherry fudge chunk. Learn more at MayfieldDairy.com. Once again, that's MayfieldDairy.com. Mayfield Dairy, proud sponsors of the Atlanta Braves here on The Drive and ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Once again, I'm Andy Morris along with Jacob Mason. And since we're going to dive into the Atlanta Braves, listen, I don't know if you got a chance to catch the end of the game last night. So Jacob and I called the district championship baseball game between Cleveland and Walker Valley last night. So we got in a little late on the Braves game. I know when I rolled into the house, I turned it on and we were struggling. Early it was ugly, not a lot of offense, and the Braves offense has had some struggles. Luckily, though, pitching has kept them around. So last night, the Braves did beat the Cincinnati Reds 2-1 on a 10th inning walk-off hit by the Big Bear, Marcell Ozuna, scoring the ghost runner Alex Verdugo. And Chris Sale was phenomenal on the mound. He went 6 2/3 and had no earned runs, 10 strikeouts, and 2 walks. So really, to look at Chris Sale's body of work, he struggled out of the gate a little bit, did not look like the Cy Young winner. Looks like he's starting to settle in.
Yeah, I got home and, I didn't turn on the game. I went in and saw the sun for a minute and talked to the wife, but I got an update on my phone that they had walked it off, and then I got on Twitter, and started scrolling through Twitter, and I guess somebody early posted and tried to post something in like the 8th inning that led. It was like Braves lose 1-0 after this, that, and the other, and the comments section was just wild. Like somebody posted this in the 8th inning, like
this didn't age well.
Yeah, this is one of those mistakes. But they they're just finding a way to win games.
But Chris Sale, man, that's the turnaround from the start of the season. Obviously, the guy won a Cy Young last year, but for him to be able to show up now his last 2 starts, he's shown improvement, and he's starting to look like that ace again that could potentially win another Cy Young award and lead this team to the postseason.
Yeah, and something that all three of us, we were talking about the Reds game the night before at the Drive, and in my head I just was thinking like the Braves are doing exactly what they need to do to stay in the hunt. And then as soon as they get some of these guys back from injury, like Strider and Acuna, like they're going to hit their stride. So I think the Braves are doing exactly what they need to do right now. They're finding ways to win ball games. Guys are starting to look better, like you said, with Chris Sale. It's exciting because now I don't know. Have you given them the update on Acuna? I know we talked about it yesterday.
Yes, yeah, we did talk about it. He's going through rehab in Florida and set to be cleared and start a rehab assignment in the near future. That was the announcement from the Braves front office. Not to mention Spencer Strider threw long toss on Sunday, so I'm sure he's ramped up since then a little bit more. And they said that he's progressing nicely. So for them to say that, he was put on the 10-day DL, so he's going to be back sooner than later. And it was anticipated he was only going to miss a couple starts. So you're talking about 2 big pieces to your team right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, I would love to see them sweep the Reds. I know we've talked about it's hard for the Braves this year to complete the sweep. They're able to go out there and get a 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 4, but they haven't been able to close the door.
And this is a 4-game series, so that would definitely be nice. But last night's game, the Braves had no offensive production until the 9th inning when Sean Murphy drew a walk to lead off the inning. Then 2 batters later, Michael Harris, a guy who really needed to break out of a slump, did so with a game-tying double.
Verdugo out at second base, and they're going to go ahead and put Austin Riley on here to start the bottom of the 10th. That's going to make the Big Bear.
Yeah, we're jumping ahead. So that was the 10th inning game of the game. The other one that we had there, but Sean Murphy in the bottom of the 9th is the one that we're looking for there, and I think that Elijah's got that one queued up.
Well, Michael's been struggling a little bit at the plate as of late. If there was ever a time to bust out of it, this should be a good one. Harris, liner to right. Stuart Fairchild on his way to third. He's being waved home. Safe! We are tied! Harris delivers.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that throw went into second, and then McLean kind of hesitated.
That is 100% the difference.
Yeah, so that tied the game at 1 in the bottom of the 9th inning. So not too long after, in the bottom of the 10th, the Big Bear, Marcell Ozuna, and that's the clip we were wanting right here for this one, delivered a walk-off hit to left field, scoring the ghost runner. Of course, they put that runner on second base to start extra innings. The ghost runner was Alex Verdugo, and this is what the Big Bear had to say.
Verdugo out at second base, and they're going to go ahead and put Austin Riley on here to start the bottom of the 10th.
That's going to make the Big Bear angry.
Liner, it's fair! Verdugo's going to come home, and the Big Bear is the big hero tonight!
Base open, I understand the intention to walk, but that is a tough guy to come in that situation to try and get out, and they made him pay.
Yeah, so listen, Marcell Ozuna earlier had looked like he might have strained something in his leg. Trainer and Brian Snitker came out, and he said you saw him shaking his head. He was rubbing his leg. I love how animated Marcell Ozuna is, and he's quickly becoming a fan favorite in Atlanta. I know we've had him for a while, and he's had his up and downs with some stuff off the field, but the fans have came around to Marcell Ozuna. The clubhouse loves him, and that completely. See, and I believe it was Austin Riley. They walked ahead of him, which again makes sense. Austin Riley's been hitting the ball a long ways here in the past few games, but for Marcell Ozuna to be that guy, you can just kind of envision, okay, here we go. And
he probably got up there and was like, I'm Ozuna
from the Braves. That's it, man. But he's delivered, and good to see Michael Harris there in the ninth inning break out of that slump as well. But the Braves now are 12-5 over the last their last 17 games. And they're taking on the Reds again tonight, who have dropped down to third place in the National League Central with an 18-19 record. And tonight's Game 3 of the 4-game series, first pitch at 7:15. Grant Holmes on the mound. And you talk about pitching, Grant Holmes 2-2 with a 4.24 ERA. And we've seen him have a few good outings here as he gets settled in this season. That's something that I know a lot of Braves fans, including myself, are very optimistic about the entire starting rotation. You're starting to see some depth of 6, maybe even 7 guys that you can rely on as starters, and that it looks like they're improving and getting better as the season goes on, which is exactly what you want to happen. It's better to start slow out of the gate. But Grant Holmes will face Hunter Green, who's 4-2 with a 2.53 ERA. I don't know if you remember when Hunter Green was drafted a few years back, they did this special on him on MLB Network, and he would show how he would go through his routine, his pitching routine, just like he normally would on the mound in a game, except he would do it all on one leg. Insane. So he would keep that front leg off the ground, and he would pick the baseball up off the mound, bare hand to the baseball up and throw. And this guy is a physical presence on the mound for Cincinnati. So if there's a game they're looking to steal tonight, in this series, it's tonight's game.
Did you have any weird pre-match rituals, like either as a football player or as a wrestler?
It was mainly dietary, just things that I knew made me feel good. I didn't do anything too out of the norm.
No smelling salts.
I would listen to the same music. See, listen, when I was still competing, that was before these TikTok trends of the smelling salts was a thing. Joe Rogan was still hosting Fear Factor back then. He wasn't putting out smelling salt advertisements or whatever he does on his show. But again, you could catch tonight's Braves-Reds game at 7:15 right here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3 and on Mix 104.1. Presented by Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland.
Yeah, so got the Braves starting lineup here for tonight. Barrett Salee tweeted it out about 15 minutes ago. It's going to be Verdugo, Riley, Ozuna, Olsen, Albies, Harris, White, Baldwin, and Allen. So, that lineup looking to do damage, but it's going to be a tough one tonight with the Reds putting that young man on the mound. So, excited to go home and watch a little bit of it.
Yeah, and listen, that's one of those things too. You name some of those guys off, Nick Allen, Eli White, Drake Baldwin. Those are some young guys that have contributed to success here recently for the Braves. And, of course, we've talked about Acuna coming back. We've talked about, obviously, Sean Murphy during his absence at the beginning of the season. Now, Sean Murphy's came in and been phenomenal. Being the starting catcher, the primary catcher. But Drake Baldwin was awesome at filling in, called good games, offensive production. He had his big moments. So just seeing those guys contribute to what this team's doing right now is really amazing.
Yeah, and to me, it's kind of a reassurance that baseball is still baseball. You don't have to have a Dodgers lineup to go win games. You don't have to defer money for 15 years and spend billions of dollars. Like, at the end of the day, baseball is what Cleveland High School did yesterday. It's getting runners on, it's batting them over, and being aggressive at the plate. And so, the Braves right now are doing a good job. I know they were off to a slow start, but you've got to find a way to win games like last night. Last night, you got to find a way to scratch yourself back into it, and the Braves are being competitive, which is fun for us.
And listen, the Braves are only 5 games out of first place at this point. It's still very early in the season. The New York Mets are sitting in first currently with a 23-14 record, and let me tell you something. The Mets have not played a tough schedule at all.
No. I mean, we spotted everybody 7 games. We said, hey, we've done so well over the past couple of years that we're going to give you a little bit of a head start.
There you go.
So no, but in all seriousness, the fact that the Braves are only 5 games back after the start that they had at the year, and with the injuries that they've had and everything, the critical of not spending enough, not going out and getting help, whatever. The Braves are off to a good start. And so it's exciting to see, and hopefully they can keep that momentum going against Cincinnati tonight.
Yeah, and again, one more time, we're going to go ahead and announce that ticket giveaway to the Braves-Padres game down at Truist Park on the 24th of May, so Saturday. That's a Saturday. Perfect time to go down with the family. 4 tickets for the Braves versus Padres game. All you've got to do is text the Volunteer Ridipest text line at 423-749-1013. Once again, that's 423-749-1013. And you just got to put Braves tickets with your name. So text us Braves tickets to win these Braves-Padres 4 tickets to Saturday, May 24th game down at Truist Park. So definitely a great opportunity to take the family down, or go down with 4 buddies, go down to a game and enjoy yourself watching the Braves try to get some revenge on a San Diego Padres team that kind of made us look bad to start the season. So with that, hey, I tell you what, why don't we take a quick break, Jacob, and when we come back, we'll talk some high school baseball. There's a lot that's happened over the last 24 hours in high school baseball, and we'll also cover some high school softball, some high school soccer, a little bit more local in the next segment. Once again, you're listening to The Drive on ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardees.
Hardees is hiring. Join the Star Team. Flexible scheduling, daily pay, free meals, 20% family discount, plus paid vacation for part-time and full-time employees. Apply in-store or online at hardees.com today.
Got an injury that just can't wait? There's no need to delay your care. Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics is excited to announce that our Urgent Ortho Walk-In Clinic is now available on Saturdays at the Gun Barrel Road location. Open from 8 to noon, we're here to treat sprains, strains, fractures, and more. No appointment needed. So skip the long ER wait and get specialized orthopedic care fast. Visit us this Saturday at Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics Urgent Ortho. We're the center for expert care right when you need it. Learn more at sportmed.com.
We tend not to think about right now, but right now in front of us is victory over cancer. Right now, cancer research funded by the V Foundation is leading to better treatments and saving lives. When you give to the V Foundation, 100% of your donation goes directly to game-changing cancer research. Victory over cancer is there for the taking by you. Donate at V.org, because today's cancer research is tomorrow's victory.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
ESPN Cleveland 101.3 is powered by Duracell. For a quarter of a century, Mix 104.1 has been taking you out to the ball game.
Swanson to first. The Braves are world champions.
Since 2000, Mix 104.1 has been the home of the Atlanta Braves, and we're celebrating by giving away tickets to Atlanta Braves games all summer long. Listen for your chance to call or text to qualify. You can also register at the Mix socials on Facebook and Instagram. Braves 25 is presented by Cleveland Ford. Honest people, honest deals.
Do your legs feel heavy, tired, or achy? Dr. James Gooden at Milligan Vein offers an office treatment that can make you look and feel better, and your procedure is covered by most insurance. Visit milliganvein.com or call Dr. Gooden today at 423-961-5682.
Since 1993, Check Into Cash has offered cash solutions to our customers. The application process is simple, and the lending decisions are quick. If you've been approved, you can leave our store with cash in hand. Our loan options are built to handle life's small emergencies. We offer reliable payday loans and line of credit options. Visit our website at checkintocash.com to learn more about your options, and when you're ready, drop by our conveniently located stores in the Chattanooga area, including Cleveland and Athens, to apply. We also offer various in-store financial services like check cashing, money orders, wire transfers, and even gift card buyback. Take the first step toward a bright financial future. We're here to help and aim to be your one-stop money shop. Not all consumers will qualify. Eligibility, rates, terms, and conditions apply. Rates, restrictions, and fees apply to store services. Please call or visit your local store for details.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Duracell in Cleveland is now hiring mechanical skilled technicians, $22.17 to $27 per hour. Excellent benefits beginning day one. Medical, dental, vision insurance, paid vacation, holiday pay, 401k tuition reimbursement, and more. Apply now at Duracell.com. That is Duracell.com. And that's our good friends just right across the street, Andy.
That's it. I appreciate them letting us use their parking lot when we have overflow over here at the station. So,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, good people over there at Duracell. But, hey, listen, we're going to go into our high school baseball segment here. Of course, the district tournaments concluded yesterday. Last night, as a matter of fact, we had this show, The Drive, and the live broadcast live from Cleveland High School, Bill Talley Stadium. And a great evening, perfect weather, and Cleveland was a great host. We appreciate them letting us set up and do our show and the game broadcast right there beside their press box on the porch right behind home plate. We had a great view of what was going on.
Yeah, and you know, your Kia had a great view of.
Listen, I'm so glad you brought that up. I hope my wife isn't listening because I didn't tell her last night. So it was about, the fifth, sixth inning, I think. It was a little bit later in the game.
Yeah.
A pop-up off one of the Blue Raiders' bats. I'm not going to say who it was because I don't want any
of
you
remember?
Yeah, oh yeah. I don't want any of our massive fan base of the Drive here on ESPN Cleveland to say anything to this young man. He's a great kid, and he may or may not work in this studio sometime. I'm just kidding. It wasn't he. But in all reality, there's a pop-up, goes right over us, and as it's hitting its peak, I turn and look at Jacob and say, it's going straight at my car. Sure enough, where I was parked, right at the entrance, right there beside the Jones Center, outside the gate of the baseball stadium, right on the roof of my car, which is a good place because not a lot of people are going to see it.
So have I told you the story about me getting hit by a foul ball this year?
Listen, you didn't tell me the story. John Wilson sent me the video.
No. I got hit by a foul ball in practice.
Okay.
I'm practicing my team on the turf. Lee is playing a game. I thought my catcher threw down to third and hit me in the back of the head. Come to find out, the catcher for Lee popped one over the stadium, and it just so happened to hit me right on top of the dome.
Listen, I wish we had some video of that.
They tried. John tried. The camera angle at the school just didn't sit, but like,
man,
dude,
I tell you what, you had a couple unfortunate situations with some foul balls this year.
I'm an ugly finder. Like if a ball is going to be hit, you don't want to be standing next to me. I'm telling you, it finds me every time. Yeah, they say I have a face for a radio for a reason.
Yeah, there you go. Listen, but we had a lot of fun over there at Cleveland last night, and you know who else had a lot of fun? Coach Tucker, because his Blue Raiders absolutely got after it last night, defeating Walker Valley 7-1 to claim the District 6 4A championship. That's back-to-back seasons now that the Blue Raiders have won the district. And Cleveland pitcher Tyler Gardner pitched a complete game, allowing only 1 run on 4 hits, 8 strikeouts, no walks, threw 80 pitches. 55 of them were strikes.
Yeah, he was absolutely dominant. And, his misses, I felt, were pretty intentional. He didn't miss often on his own accord.
His command looked great.
Yeah, and when he wanted to paint that outside corner, brother, he got that brush out and put it right there on it.
Yeah, and at the plate for Cleveland, guess who helped his own cause? Tyler Gardner for sure did, with 2 hits, a walk, and 2 RBIs, not to mention Colin Stewart's 2 hits, 2 walks, and then Charlie Atha as well had 2 hits and 2 walks and 3 RBIs. So those 3 guys at the plate, a big day for the Blue Raiders, winning that game over Walker Valley in the district championship 7-1.
Yeah, I've been so impressed with Coach Tucker. I got to meet him for the first time recently after he got hired. I went and watched Cutter Womack signing to college. Cutter was a player of mine at the middle school, and he came over and introduced himself, and didn't really know much about him other than just what the radio had said, and like his pedigree and all the things that he had done. But the past 2 years, watching what he's done with this Raiders, back-to-back district champions, again, you can tell their mindset is to not sit back. They're attacking. They're attacking the baseball.
Their approach at the plate is absolute attack mode.
And last night, even from a pitcher standpoint, they attacked the zone. I mean, like I know Tyler Gardner was the guy doing it, but 80 pitches, 55 strikes, and when he missed, again, I felt like they were intentional misses trying to get guys to chase off the plate. Like, he did not miss often. A lot of looking Ks, and it's because his command where he wanted that ball is where it was going. So he did a great job.
Yeah, I've got to bring this up too. So our guy Ephraim got in the game last night, and Elijah, I don't know if you heard about this. Did Ephraim tell you anything about this? So he gets an at bat and absolutely smokes one. He barreled a ball. Only problem is he hit it right at I believe it was Brody Omby. Hit it right at him. But man, he saw a pitch he liked and he went in attack mode. So he definitely, I wanted to mention that. So who obviously produces this show a lot for us, got some action last night and really smoked the baseball. So we're glad to see him do that. But next time he needs to just tell our guy Brody Omby, who we know well, to get out of the way, right?
Yeah. Watching those two teams face off last night, there's just we talked about it on the air. So if you didn't tune into us last night or tune into the drive yesterday, we are so blessed in this area with some really, really good baseball teams and some really good baseball players all across our entire region, really. And it kind of shows because here we are. The coaches meeting was today. I'm not sure what they've come up with. You have the answer on that?
Yeah, I sure do.
But, you've got Bradley, Cleveland, and Walker Valley, and then lo and behold, guess who's right next door? Ooltewah as well. Those are the 4 teams that are going to be represented in our region.
Well, you mentioned Bradley. And Bradley in District 5 4A are also district champions for the 3rd year in a row. So they clinched that. I believe that was Monday night that the Bears clinched their 3rd district championship in a row. They defeated Ooltewah by a score of 5-4. So the Bears are over there grinding. Coach Adams has them playing well. And so this is what's going on. You mentioned there was a meeting today, a region coaches meeting to determine the region tournament and how everything was going to play out. Obviously, the 1 seed or the district champion Bradley Bears are playing district runner-up from the District 6 Walker Valley, and then district champions Cleveland playing district runner-up Ooltewah. So basically, the 2 districts are just crossing up. The ones are playing a 2. And this is what they've got set because this is a unique time of year, having to work around weather, having to work around graduations. That's the big thing this week. So this is what's going to happen in high school baseball. Thursday, Cleveland will play Ooltewah at 6 p.m., and all these games will be at Bill Talley Stadium at Cleveland High School. So Thursday, Cleveland plays Ooltewah at 6 p.m. in that first round game. Then on Friday, Bradley will play Walker Valley at 3 p.m. at Cleveland High School. So a Friday 3 o'clock game at Cleveland High School between Bradley and Walker Valley. Going on to Saturday, that's Bradley's graduation. There will be no games on Saturday. Then on Sunday, we've got 3 games set to be played. Game 1 will be at noon, and that is the region championship game. So if you win your first game, between Bradley and Walker Valley and Cleveland and Ooltewah, the winners of those games will advance to the region championship. If you win that region championship game, you're the region champ. Your tournament's done. If you lose that game, you will then drop to game 3. And the way this works is the winner of game 2, which are the losers of game 1. So whoever loses in the first round will play in game 2 on Sunday at 3:30, and that if you win that game, that's basically an elimination game. If you win that game, you will advance to Game 3 on Sunday for basically what turns into a region runner-up game, a true second, essentially. So I know I'm throwing a lot out there, but it's the way they do these region tournaments are not being able to play a full series like you do in that first round of the district. This is ultimately the best way to get your best two teams advanced, and it makes a team show off pitching depth because you can only throw a guy so many pitches, and you're playing a lot of games in a 3-day period potentially.
So Sunday could Sunday be a double header for somebody then? So
the region championship game, yes. Whoever loses game 1, which is the region championship game, if you win that game, you're the region champion. Your tournament's over.
Yeah.
If you lose that game, you'll then come back and play in game 3 that same day.
And so that is the loser of.
So game 2 are the two losers of the first round.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm caught up.
So listen, it's complicated, but I know both of our all 3 of our teams are going to be putting stuff out on social media. There's going to be a bracket out there when you can visually see the bracket. It's a lot more helpful as I tried to break that down the best I could. But hey, real quick, we're going to go on over to high school softball. Walker Valley, the Feisty Phillies defeated Cleveland 5-2 last night to claim the District 5 4A championship. And the next game for the Mustangs, the Lady Mustangs, will be Monday, May 12th versus the District 6 runner-up. That game will be Monday at 5:30 at Walker Valley High School. And then I talked to our friend Coach Ricketts over at Bradley, head coach of the Bradley Central Bearettes. They beat Howard 12-2 last night to advance in their district tournament, which is still being played. They will play Ooltewah today. That game is actually currently underway. Jacob might have a score for us here in just a second.
I can look that up.
And that gives them a shot to play East Hamilton tonight at 7 in the District 6 championship game. So the Bearettes, need to beat Ooltewah to advance to play East Hamilton in the District 6 championship game.
All right, so they're currently playing Ooltewah. They're in the top of the 5th. Ooltewah leads 2-0.
Okay, so the Bearettes still alive in that game. They need to win to advance. If they lose, the season is over, unfortunately for them. But so a lot going on in high school baseball, high school softball. We got to mention high school soccer. There was a lot happening last night as Walker Valley defeated McMinn County in the district semifinals by a score of 3-1. So the Mustangs advancing there onto region. And then Cleveland soccer. This one was chaotic because Cleveland soccer advances to their district championship after a dramatic win over Ray County in the semifinals. Cleveland clinched the game, and listen to this, on a 12th round of penalty kicks.
Wow.
12th round of PKs. That is insane. So Cleveland, I believe there was only like 2 minutes left in regular time when Cleveland was down like 2 goals, and they scored 2 goals within a 2-minute period to force those PKs, which is, props to Cleveland and the soccer team over there. And so it looks like the district championship is going to be Cleveland at Walker Valley. That game will be Friday at noon. So if you're a big soccer fan, soccer supporter, Cleveland at Walker Valley for the district championship Friday at noon. And then also the Walker Valley girls flag football team left for the state tournament today. I believe their first game was around 3 o'clock. We do not have an update on that yet, but we will work on getting that and get that back to you. So, hey, with that, we're about 5 minutes out, so we're gonna hang on here as Jacob does some research for us. But, listen, so much happening here locally with these spring sports. I know that there were a lot of track and field events that took place yesterday, and it does look like Walker Valley. Go ahead, and I'll let you get that, Jacob.
So going to the Walker Valley flag football page, it looks like they won game 1 20-0. So they played – I'm trying to see who that is.
So once again, this is the Walker Valley girls flag football team who are participating in the state tournament in Murfreesboro.
Yeah, and I've taught and been around a lot of people at Walker Valley. Those girls, dude, they take it. The Walker Valley girls take it so seriously.
And the thing, Coach Pope has mentioned this on our show and on Mixed Mornings when he's been on, but he's got a ton of multi-sport athletes on his flag football team, and these girls play basketball, they play soccer. They're some of them are even running track. Both sports in the same season. So it's very impressive what he's been able to put together here in year one of the flag football program at Walker Valley.
So I've got the schedule. They beat Hillsboro, so that game was at 2.
Okay.
4:30 they play Ezell Harding, and then at 7 p.m. they play Jackson Northside. So, hey.
And so that the way that's set up, they have pools. The way you place in those pools, you'll be placed in the bracket to where tomorrow they'll go through that bracket play, and I believe they'll be able to crown a champion tomorrow.
I know that they're kind of planning around if they win what graduation looks like. I know there's a bunch of girls saying that they're probably going to be doing makeup and stuff in the car, trying to whip it back down to graduation, but I hope they come away with the state championship in year one of that. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, Coach Pope has done a great job, as we said, and we know those girls and the Walker Valley, they had a send-off for them today up at Walker Valley, so they sent them off to the state tournament and had the band playing and students out in the hallway cheering for them, so really, really cool environment for that. So, again, so much happening with high school baseball, high school softball, soccer, and, of course, girls flag football, which we've covered quite a bit here. And, man, that's enough for a show in itself right there. We could do a high school sports exclusive show today if we had the time to do it. Unfortunately, we don't. But the good news is right after we go off air, Finish Line Radio is coming on at 6 p.m. right here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. But, hey, listen, a couple more things I want to get out there. We talked about it yesterday. Mother Like No Other giveaway that we're doing ends on Friday. The 9th is Friday, yeah. So it does end Friday. And Perry's Petals has got a dozen roses. Old Fort Restaurant, dinner for 4. And Baskin Robbins has got a Polar Pizza for your mother for Mother Like No Other. Sign your mom up to win at ESPNCleveland1013.com. The winner will be announced Friday morning at 7:30 a.m. on Mixed Mornings.
And then you want to plug the Braves tickets one more time?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Listen, this is something.
If not, me and Andy are going to be sitting out there with those 4 seats and enjoying a game.
Hey, we might actually have to swing that. If someone's not going to text in and get these tickets, they might just find their way into Jacob Mason and Andy Morris's pocket. I don't know. But again, the Braves ticket giveaway, Braves versus Padres. We're giving those away today, so you've got to register today by texting the Volunteer Ridipest text line at 423-749-1013. Again, 4 tickets for the Saturday, May 24th game, Braves versus Padres. All you got to do is text 423-749-1013. Text your name and Braves tickets. You do that, and you've got a chance to win these 4 tickets for Braves Padres. Hey, listen, it's 5:59. Finish Line Radio's coming up for Jacob Mason. I'm Andy Morris. Had fun today, Jacob. We'll have to do it again here very soon.
Yeah.
Good job, Jacob. Have a great evening, everybody.
Be there tomorrow, man. Excited.
See you later, Jacob.
Some mornings call for a little extra comfort. Introducing Hardee's new home-style breakfast